What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Let me paint you a picture. Part 5. Hope everyone's feeling blessed. Salute! Today's a different one. You know what I mean? It's going to be conversational based. We did not open today, but yeah, let's get it popping. We got Leanne behind the camera. So yeah, let's go. What's good?
So, yeah, we didn't open today.
Yes, we did not open today.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about why we didn't open?
um, The reason we did not open is because we didn't receive the funding in order to put certain measures in place so we can host a provision and provide, a service for the young people and host a place for the young people to go to whilst parents are maybe at work, maybe they need a break of time, but we couldn't do that today because of late payments, basically.
And who is the funding? Who are you waiting for funding from?
Well, it comes from directly from Merton.gov. You know what I mean? So we're dealing with the council borough themselves. They have a half provision, half meaning holidays, activities, and food provision. So this is in place for people that are on low income or on benefits, universal credits, working tax credits, anything like that because of low income helps them, or their child's on free school meals, whether they're special educational needs, they gain access, free access to these holiday activity and food provisions.
So, what about the other have projects that have been run in the past? Like, could you tell us a bit about what you've done, what we do at ATS with the children?
Okay, so we run creative clubs during the holiday provisions. We've been running it since 2021, since
Hmm.
Christmas 2021. Always good, you know what I mean? I would say the only hiccups we were kind of having was confirming which children were actually on free school meals, but we've reached a barrier now that we've overcome that barrier by Merton placing half codes. So children that are on the low income or receiving benefits will receive half codes that will gain them free access to our creative clubs. In our creative clubs, we host different creative stations, so they learn things like film and media, they learn things like poetry, they learn music. Do you know what I mean? They also get to create their own jewelry. They learn about gemstones, healing products. We teach them about well-being. Do you know what I mean? In a creative format. So there's a different ways of how we deliver creative activities, covering a whole range of different creative arts and crafts and creative entertainment.
And is all of that provided through the funding through Merton?
Well, majority of it, yes, is usually funded through Merton, and if not, we'll usually put in an extra whatever we can contribute into it, so the young people have a good time. Do you know what I mean? And can receive something back that they can take something home with them, like
Mm.
i.e. the creative packs that we used to distribute to our young people. We no longer distribute those.
Why? Why has that changed? Why don't they?
There has been a change in the funding, so the funding has changed. So the way I can say without going into too much detail is whereas before we had to give them a order sheet of what resources, equipment, including staff, will cost. So we have to give them the cost of the materials, resources, and equipment that will be needed to deliver and host the provision. Once we've given them the costs, they will give us distribute half of that money so we can put those provisions in place, and then we deliver the program. And then after the program, we receive the second half of our payment. Now they've distributed it in a way where they will pay £25 per child, and they'll pay the first £12.50 as the first payment per child per day. If you do the maths, it doesn't even equate to enough to really cover hall costs. So, for example, for a small grassroots company, it will cost them £50 an hour to hire out a hall in the district of CR4, basically Mitcham. And yeah, so if you have 25 children, that's £2,000 over a period of 2 weeks. Now, if you do the maths of £50 an hour over the same period of point of time, you'll realize that the £2,000 is just for the whole cost. It's not covering for food. It's not covering for equipment. It's not covering for resources. Now, the difference between a grassroots company and a more public established organization, they will have money that they can have. They have their resources, they have their equipment all on board. So, i.e., a school or anywhere that's publicly or owned or publicly owned by the government that is also assisting them, or that gets big mainstream fund pots, like i.e. about £100,000 a year. You know what I mean? Over a period of 3 years, because they've been established or whatever for a certain length of period of time. So they will receive they can receive payments late. They don't have to pay for resources and materials, so they can charge a lesser fee than us grassroots companies, because we hire as we go. We order equipment and resources as we go. Do you know what I mean? So there will be a differentiation between prices in which we will charge the council.
And has this happened before in terms of funding being paid
This has
late
happened
or
quite a few
not at
times
all?
now. Sorry to cut you.
No, that's okay. I was just asking if it's happened before in terms of funding being not being paid or being paid late, and
Yes.
what impact, how is this impacting yourself, the community, and
Well, if we're going in, it's impacting ourselves in a major way, because at this precise moment we're at a loss. So, again, coming to the reason why we never opened up today is because we didn't receive payment. Without receiving the payment, we can't feed the children. We've already put money from our pockets into the Christmas provision, into the summer provision. Um, both payments were kind of late during the process of the first week. So I'm going into my own pocket, and what we're not looking at is they're no longer covering resources and equipment, so certain materials that we would need in order to host the provision. Now our materials are running short. As I say, as we're booked, we order. Do you know what I mean? Because we know what we're delivering. Whereas an established organization that has a space of their own will have all the equipment and resources all up there already for them to access. And if they need to feed the children, they probably have money in their reserves that they can use to feed the young people. But what they're not going to do is probably go as far as a grassroots company and get extra little things so these young people can take home after the provision's over. So we take these things into account.
how do you think this will impact the local community?
Yeah. Well, it means that because we closed today, it means that the parents that have gone to work, that needs to go to work, now have to look for another space, either sign up for another provision, or it means that they have to find a babysitter, or that means they have to take a day off work. Unfortunately, for those parents that are probably stay at home parents or receive a benefit or looking for work at this precise moment, it means that they don't get no time for themselves. You know what I mean? So that's extra stress, that's extra things for the parents to think about. Whereas when these provisions are open, it allows the parents breathing space. Do you know what I mean? It allows the parents to go to work. It allows parents to accomplish other tasks at hand that they need to do at home without the children there to think about, because it takes a community to raise a child. It really does. If a parent can't do it on their own, and especially those that are on low income in receipt of benefit, they're under a lot of pressure at this precise moment, especially with inflation. You know what I mean? With inflation going up, prices going up everywhere, hard to get food, and this is a provision that supplies food as well. So if we can't supply the food, then it's a long stream effect, domino effect, especially if you're supplying food for the young people to take home. You know what I mean? That means there's
Mm.
no extra food for the young people to take home after at the end of the day as well.
So going forward, what would you like to see change?
What would I like to see change? The best thing I can say is just pay us on time and pay us on time and pay reasonably. Do you know what I mean? Don't compare grassroots companies to mainstream companies because the price variation is going to be different. You know what I mean? The price range is going to be different. You have to take into account that there are a lot of grassroots companies that include their resources and materials within their budget in which they charge. Do you know what I mean? Which will show the scale difference between private and public owned companies, grassroots companies, and well established companies.
So I know that recently you've started a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
All right. So that's called Let Me Paint You a Picture. And this whole thing process is a part of that. Basically, we're doing a GoFundMe. The reason we're doing that is because we would like to ensure that we have extra money in our fund in our reserves in order just in case things like this happen again. So, for example, if we receive a late payment, it wouldn't matter because amongst the people, we have raised enough money that we can host the provisions um, with just in case of late payment. That's all I can say. Do you know what I mean? We can get equipment, we could get resources just in case of late payment. Do you know what I mean? We can pay the halls just in case of late payment. We could get extra food for these children just in case of late payments. Not only that, it will also help us to access hall hire for a longer period of time. So rather than delivering for 4 hours, we could deliver for 8 hours. So where a low income parent who's working can also access longer hours, and we can, alleviate some of the pressure that these parents will face looking for babysitters, nannies, and stuff like that as well. Not only that, Merton, unfortunately, even though they're saying that they can host 4 hours for 4 days, over 8 days, sorry, pardon my speech. So Merton can host four hours over space of 8 days, but only one family can sign up for 4 days. Do you know what I mean? So if I have 25 children that sign up, they can only attend for 4 days, and then another 25 children can attend for 4 days. I think that's a bit confusing. So I would rather, if we have 25 children, they sign up for 8 days. We have them for 8 days over a period of 8 hours. Do you know what I mean? With their hour lunch included. So 7 hours delivery time, 1 hour lunch, and then we have our games and breaks in between time as well. What else would like to see out of that? We can take them on more trips. Do you know what I mean? Because you can, as you yourself know, Leanne, you work with us. I don't pocket any of this money. This literally goes into the community. What you contribute will literally go right to the community. Do you know what I mean? Those that are in need. So yeah, this is why we are putting this provision in place. This one fundraiser in place. Sorry.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Do you have any conclusions or final words you'd like to say before we end?
Basically, I would just like to say any support that you give ATS Creative Academy, because it's not myself here, take me outside of the equation. We just want to deliver extra provisions, extra activities, extra clubs for these young people. So any help that you can do and contribute towards us, so that's either by our GoFundMe page or checking out our website www.atscreativeacademy.org. If you check out our shop tab, there you can purchase anything that you purchase goes towards our cause as well. So we have merchandise on there. We have poetic jumpers which have my poems and artwork on the jumpers, so you can purchase one of those. Anything that you purchase, as I said, all those funds will be contributed to our cause, and that will help us, deliver longer provisions, deliver longer clubs and activities, get more staff in, get more volunteers in, help us, get a long-lasting premises, a space where these young people can get creative for longer hours after school, especially. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My purple inferno, purple sunburn to the mind.